Good morning out there in YouTube land. Welcome to another episode of the Sidewalk Saint with your host, the Brother Phil. Today we're going to talk about something so real that people dare not talk about it. So basically what we're going to talk about, to put it in context, could be other people's thoughts about what you're doing, which they are having, and you can feel it and you know they're having these thoughts and you don't like it. So what is it that makes us know that? Well, because you're psychic. You can tell. You've always been able to tell. Have you ever met someone you didn't even ever have met them in your life, but you didn't like them a lot? You hated them. Like, the minute you saw them, you didn't like them. Like, man, why would you do that? Why would you just... I'm going to fix this camera for you. There we go. Why would you just all of a sudden hate somebody for no real reason? Why would anybody do that? And you know, it's kind of a thing out there. People are battling and they don't even realize it, you know? That was just way off subject real quick there, but what I'm saying is this. You know people, what's in their head, what they're thinking, things like that. You know it. You're not crazy. People that hear voices in their head, they're not crazy. They are hearing things. Some maybe, but most not. They're hearing the voices, and everybody's like, oh, you need to take medicine, you gotta fix it. You know what? The fact that your psychic abilities are fully activated is just a blessing if you can deal with it correctly. And don't go to so-called authorities to tell you that you're something else and put you on drugs and close your pipeline. Okay? So you can hear things. Good for you. Hear things. And that's not stuff necessarily that you're gonna like, but the fact that you can is amazing. So let's get back on track. So, people are thoroughly irresponsible. People just throw hate around like it's nothing and think bad things about people all day while they're driving. Well, I just want to give you guys some good information. There is literally groups of people out there, and groups of not people, if you want to put it that way, that are putting bad thoughts into the grid, right? Basically, there's people that are full-time, let's call them warlocks, I guess. Witches and warlocks, just to get weird. And they're spending all their time making sure there's just unbelievable negative thoughts out there that just float around. And I know you see them and you hear them and you're like, that's not me. Why is that coming into my thoughts? But to get back on track about what we can do about it, and I know that was really weird, so if you don't believe it, it's all good. I totally get it and I respect what you do believe. The people are going around and they've been brainwashed into this now. There's a lot less of the people that would have us hearing it, and a lot more people just repeating what they have gone through or what they've been programmed to do. So it's like, you know, people are super impatient, and that makes sure that there's the highest amount of stress. And with the highest amount of stress, you get the most amount of people getting angry the quickest. It's like whenever you push molecules together, they go faster and they heat up, right? And we are a reflection of something like that. So we push us closer together and we heat up. That's what cities are designed to do. They're to push people closer together. For sure, there's going to be more crime, more violence, more drugs, more of everything that people that want us to fail would have us have. And there's even governmental agendas that say the opposite of what I'm saying. Like real, actual, physical agendas that are available that you can, I don't know exactly where you can go get them, and I don't know why I know that, but I do. They have real agendas that are available that you can find, mandates and all kinds of stuff that will say one thing, but if you look at them, you'll go, wait, that's going to do the opposite. That's going to do the opposite. So everybody's trying to make everything sound like something else, basically. So what I'm saying is, you guys are going to have to take the ball into your court and just become better people, basically, is what I'm saying. I mean, you know, you're driving around and you're going to see and hear stuff like this, and I just want you guys to just realize what it really is. Realize what it is, and that puts the ball in your court. You're like, wait a minute, I don't want to think that. I mean, why would you want to think bad things about people? Especially, you know, you're driving around and you hear these thoughts. And when you're listening to me say this, you're going, oh my God, how does he know that I feel this? Everybody's going through it. That's why. Everybody on the planet. Even as a matter of how far along I am on my path, I still hear it all the time. So it's kind of like, I mean, the best thing I've been able to do about it, because you can hear it, man. You hear it driving, you're driving around, you can, people on the side of the road are looking at you like you're a piece of crap, and every time you try to get over, someone's tailgating you. It's hard out there. It's a war zone, and you know what? We made it that way. Good job, people. Congratulations, you live in a war zone of irresponsible people's thinking bad thoughts about everyone around them all the time. It's really sad. It's really sad. But we've been conditioned into this, so you got to know that wasn't always the way people were. In fact, not so many thousands of years ago, you know, if you were traveling in the desert or something and you got in trouble and someone with a camel sled, they would save you, man. And I'm not just saying that like, of course they would save you, right? No, but you'd go to the village, and no matter who you were, they would treat you well, like a good person, and do nice things for you. And so here you are thinking, what if they murder your family? What if they this? What if they that? Yep, that's what we're conditioned to think. My wife thinks like that. It's crazy. It's crazy. She thinks of the first most horrible thing that can happen and tells me, what if that happens? I'm like, what are you doing? Are you out of your... No, I don't want to say that. I'm going to stop right there. She's not. She's just been conditioned that way. She's from Vietnam. Vietnam is a society built on fear and communism. And communism is, ladies and gentlemen, built on fear. So, she's afraid of the woods. She's afraid of everything. It's like they teach you to just fear life in general. They want you to stay in your house and be quiet. That's all they want. And they want to do whatever they want around you, because they do. They're pretty horrible. It's a horrible country full of a lot of really good people that are dealing with really bad government and really bad surroundings. There's all kinds of nightmare stuff happening in Vietnam. I'm not going to get into that. But I do know everything that's happening because my wife stays up with the news, and so does her father-in-law, who is a retired airborne ranger for the U.S. in the Vietnam War. A really nice guy. And he'll talk about the war. You know why? Because he didn't kill anybody. That's his claim to fame. He's like, and you know, a real vet that's been through killing is not going to talk about it. That's a real thing. Anyways, back to the matter at hand. And even to add to that, to say that you'd be tricked by your own government into thinking that wholesale murder is a thing that we have to do. I mean, don't be confused, friends. War is an illusion. It's just absolutely an illusion. That you'd have to, and then all that really happens, and everybody watches it happen like it doesn't matter, is that our government goes in afterwards and rapes all the resources. It's like, is anybody seeing this? Is anybody looking at what's going on here? I mean, let's get real, people. Let's get real. Dude, forget about it. And everybody's like, oh no, if somebody comes into my land, don't tread on me, blah, 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 blah. You're an idiot. You're an idiot if you think that. Don't tread on what? Dude, bro. Oh, the Twin Towers, guess what? We bombed ourselves for the Twin Towers, and we furbished everything those guys used to do those massive attacks. It's a big conspiracy, and everybody knows it. Dude, the guy that was working for the CIA, that was in the band, that had the explosives in the bottom of the towers, and knew that he did it, and told everybody, and it's available, and you can watch it. And he said, and they said, well, we just got to do this to the guy. He's like, it's a really messed up story. It's like, oh my God. Anyways, so I got way off track, and I love doing that. It's my favorite thing. We did it to ourselves. Who treaded on who? We treaded on ourselves. So that they could say that someone else treaded on us, so that they could go and take resources and mess up a country and do whatever they want. So, and there is better things happening. There's a lot more disaster relief and war relief by our military. So they have improved in some respects, but the fact, I mean, how stupid is he who creates the thing that which he battles, right? Why would you do that? That's just, it's lunacy. And guess what? You are a reflection of that. You guys are like, well, that doesn't have anything to do with what we were talking about. Yes, it does. You create wars all day long in your life through what I'm talking about. You think a bad thing, they think a bad thing. You guys decide you don't like each other, then you get two egos going up head to head. You got a guy fighting in the street. Next thing you know, someone gets shot. And it's on the news all the time. Who cares who's right? Who cares who's tough? Who cares what they said? Well, you do, because you get so mad about it. Because guess what? You wouldn't get mad if you didn't care. Isn't that wild? I got some really wild videos on that subject. You guys already know that if you've been watching my channel. So yeah, it's wild. It's something that we're really irresponsible about, and we need to kind of pull the reins in and get real about it if we can. We got to get, and I think my advice to you, it's a very simple procedure. You disconnect your brain as your thought process center, and then you connect yourself to your heart, and then to your brain. I don't even reconnect my brain anymore. It does its thing. See, here's the thing. Your brain, and I know everybody, please refute this. I don't care. I get it. I understand. Why would anybody believe anything I'm about to say? But you got to disconnect your brain. It's not doing a good job. You need to connect your heart. So I'll explain this as I have many times, happily and patiently, to my brothers and sisters. Your brain is like this: eat, sex, sleep, shit, kill. That's your brain, right? And then your heart is like, should I share some of this food with my boy because I know he loves this? Should I stay awake to protect the tribe at night just to make sure everyone's safe? And then, should I have sex with this person? Maybe they were drunk and your heart will be like, no, dude, you can't do that. Your brain would be like, yeah, let's do this, right? So, brain makes bad decisions, heart makes good decisions. How does your heart make decisions? It's not your brain. Exactly. It's not your brain. Your brain only makes bad decisions. But you got to know that there's actually science proof backing up the thought processes of the heart. Or actually, the heart itself actually has something like 5,000 times more computation capabilities than your brain does. So basically, what's being discovered is that the brain only runs the body, and that's its only real purpose. And yeah, it enacts decisions and processes. It certainly does, and it's where the thought can be brought into your experience, but also your heart, without your brain, can bring things into your experience. It's the smart body is what it's called. You can look that up. That's very interesting stuff. But your heart needs to be the first point at which the thought goes through. We'll call it like a filter to stop you from, your heart will, you ever hear the bad thought and you're like, I don't want to think that. Why is that in my head? You'll literally catch it and realize it's not yours. That's really good. That means you're in a good spot. That means that you're witnessing things and you're seeing what's going on. That allows you to be in control of the next outcome of that thought process. So you'll be like, I don't hate that person. I don't even know who they are. You make the final decision yourself. You'll be like, no. And this is the energies that are out there. And what does that mean? Let me explain to you what that means. When I say this is the energies that are out there, it's like, oh man, I'm trying to bring it to words. It's so hard because I've got like 20 different people trying to channel an image and a thought through my brain so I can make it so easy to understand. I forgot it. I lost it. Anyways, so yeah, you gotta be able to disconnect the brain as the decision-making processes and connect your heart. How do you do it? Do it any way you want to do it. Just imagine you're pulling a cord from your brain. And then be specific. Say, I'm going to pull the cord of decision making from my brain. I'm going to connect it to my heart, and I'm going to let my heart make decisions from now on. And you can do that. You can do it. And I can't tell you the difference that I'm having. It's undescribable, but it's a big deal. You're saying, I'm going to let love rule my life. I'm going to let love run the show. So when you hear that bad thought that you know is not yours, and you're witnessing it, you render it helpless. It's completely helpless. And then what I was saying earlier about the energies, it's like this. You get into a battle, or you get into a car thing, or whatever, someone's getting in your way, and it's like, if you don't lend energy to that experience, that person will know. And they'll opt out on like making it bigger. Because they're looking for that energy. They're looking for the return of anger. They're looking for energy to be lent to the event to make an event out of nothing. Because hatred and anger is just not a thing. It's not really a real thing. You gotta have two people that agree on the illusion at the same time for the illusion to become a real thing in your life. That's kind of how it works. And even then, you're still under the illusory in your actions of violence or yelling or whatever you decide, or whatever ends up happening with or without you. So that's basically all I'm saying. If you don't lend energy to things, it's not going to go anywhere. It really won't. Because they're not going to get what they wanted, and you're no longer a target for them, so they're not going to mess with you. So go out there and be responsible with your feelings and love your brothers and sisters, and we'll see you on the next one.